David Robinson, I'm so thrilled to welcome you here.
Thank you.
Of course, with Richard Jefferson as well. We were joking before we started rolling about. I was going to say, we have a historic Spurs player here, and also David Robinson. But you were Richard's favorite player growing up, and I want Richard to tell the people how you express this.
Growing up in Phoenix, like David, when he first came into the league, he was my favorite player forever. And here we are. I knew this was going to be his last year, and we're playing in the NBA Finals.
This is the 2003 NBA Finals.
It was literally the last 2-3 minutes of the game, and at this point in time, I reached over and I was just like, "Hey, now that this is all over, I can tell you that you were my favorite player growing up. Congratulations."
You guys there's a free throw going on. The game is still happening.
No, but we were about to lose the NBA Finals. And I'm playing against my, he was one of the reasons why I started playing basketball. One of the reasons why I love the game. And my
so it's your fault we have to deal with him. Is basically what you're saying.
That's a blessing.
So for me to have that opportunity to be in the NBA Finals as a 22-year-old, and then to tell my icon on his last game that he was my favorite player. I know there's a competitive side to it, but part of me was just
I already felt old, but when you said that to me, I felt like, wow.
I'm 40 now. I'm about to turn 40, but no, that was a special moment. I know it was for you because you won a championship, but to be able to tell my favorite player.
I'm sure he doesn't even remember that title. He just remembers that moment.
Now that you show it to me, I remember.
I do remember that.
No, that's awesome. That was a really special moment. I mean, obviously my last game, my last NBA game, and an unbelievable moment in my life there. So that was very cool.
Absolutely. Now Tim Duncan was the MVP of that NBA Finals. He is now I'm just saying.
That's what it is.
He is now rejoined the Spurs as an assistant coach.
That's great.
And there are some people who are sort of like, okay, we know he was a great Spur. We know his connection still with the organization. But as an assistant coach, you do need to be somewhat vocal.
Well, it's not that he's not vocal. I mean, Richard will tell you. I mean, he's great with the guys, and he projects a confidence and a. I mean, it's just when you're with him, you feel like you're going to win. I mean, he just brings that to the table, and he brings professionalism. He brings a focus, kind of like Papa, no nonsense kind of a mentality, and I think that's going to play on those young guys because that's the thing we're missing right now. That leadership in that locker room to make sure that, hey, let's take this to the next level. And I think he'll bring that. He'll help those guys understand what that takes, because it's more than just about going out there and putting up numbers. There's guys on bad teams scoring 20 and 10 every night, and nobody really cares. What they care about is, can you raise the level of other guys up to play better? And I think Tim is obviously one of the best guys ever to do that.
Yeah, did you see that coming at all? Because
no.
When I saw it, I texted him, I was like, for my entire life, I've always told people you were the smartest player I've been around. And this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen you do.
Well, I'm like, Tim, did you read the job description? I'm not really sure you understand. But you know what? He just loves being in the gym. He loves basketball.
He was running sprints the other day. Did you guys see the video? Tim Duncan's in the corner running sprints.
But he loves Pop. I mean, it does make sense when you think about it. And he knows the game. I mean, there's a lot of things that make sense. But yeah, you know his personality. And you think, you're not really sure this is what you want to do. But hey, enjoy it. No, he's going to be great. I do think he's going to be a great influence in that locker room, and that's what they need. When you see Manu and Tony and Tim walk out of that locker room, it's like a vacuum of leadership that just sucks the life out of it. So now he can help bring some of that back.
We've been lucky enough to have you on the jump a few times. One of them was Kawhi's final season with the Spurs. And you expressed some frustration at that point, really just at not really being able to talk to him and not knowing what was going on. What was it like for you to then watch his season in Toronto and the great success he had there, and then watch him go to the Clippers?
It was what he did last year was unbelievable. I mean, really, he took a team that wasn't even in the discussion for a championship to the title, and that's a legendary type of thing. And it's from watching him in San Antonio for years, I always told people he's the best two-way player in the league. And then people were saying, oh, well, LeBron, or no, this guy is the best two-way player in the league. So I guess I'm not overly surprised. I mean, clearly the way he left San Antonio, we were hoping he was like the heir apparent. He was going to, continue to take us to the next level. But it didn't work out that way. And so I was really happy to see him be able to go and fulfill that promise that he has showed in San Antonio and kind of prove to everybody, hey, what I did in San Antonio wasn't just because of Tim or, Manu and those. I mean, he is a great player. And so I was happy for him. sad for our franchise a little bit, but we're doing our thing.
Yeah, one of the things I want to talk about was parity. Now that we were talking about Kawhi a little bit earlier, and now that you see there is no Miami Heat, there is no Golden State Warriors, there is no evil empire. Do you think that I personally like the evil empire?
I do too.
No,
he was part of the dynasty.
You got to have the bad guys. You got to have something to shoot for. It really makes everybody better. When we used to play against, the Utah Jazz, we hated them. They were the enemy, but they made us play better, and we had to rise to that level. And then you had Chicago Bulls waiting past that, and you're like, okay, what do we have to do, man? What do we have to do? So now it's, I'm with you. I like having the guys up there. Like, we're going to take those guys down, man.
Take them down. Now, I agree. But, like, who do you see in this group now? And there's been a lot of changes. Yeah. Is there anybody that you see that kind of stands out to you that you're like, I think that team is going to be the team that can kind of run it for a year or two?
You know what? To be honest with you, there's not one team that I could say for sure. I mean, I think that's going to make this season exciting and interesting. But, I mean, you look at what Kawhi did last year with a team that wasn't in the running, and now you got a team that has some pretty good pieces and a good coach. I got to say the Clippers are kind of my dark horse to kind of get it done. I still wouldn't count out the Warriors. I mean, Draymond's great, and I mean, they get Klay Thompson back. They're still pretty tough. I mean, they won 72 games without Durant, so they're not that bad.
I remember.
73.
Yeah, we remember. And then with the Lakers, you got two monsters in there. So you can't count those guys out. So it's an interesting group this year. I don't really know where to look.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.